Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
It's time for Operation Swing By, the Cerritos Second Contact with a planet last visited by Picard 17 years ago. They're left addicted to drugs. What could possibly go wrong? Also, an appearance by the Breen, an FNN news reporter on the scene, and a pie eating contest canceled.
What do you mean you want to contest it? You don't have a fucking mouth. So how can you expect to really win a blueberry pie eating contest with the Tribble?
Is that what that sticky stuff is?
Yeah, 007, you guys just smushed it all over yourselves. You didn't actually eat.
That's not what that sticky stuff is, Heather.
Wait, why is it blue?
Oh, God.
Andorians.
Our dots do not back down from a challenge.
They went with the Tribbles to have a pie eating contest knowing that they don't have a mouth and they expected to win because they said they got most of the pies to disappear off the table. And all they did was smear it on themselves like some sort of weird food porn.
Oh, my God.
The Tribbles actually ate them.
Yeah, the Tribbles are claiming that they won because they ate it and the dots did
and the dots smeared. So now they want a judge to appeal the decision.
And you're the judge? What's your judgment?
I told her the Tribbles won. It's because the bots didn't. Anybody could smear it with some 70s porn music in the background. and say they won.
You just don't challenge a Tribble to a food eating contest. It's just not
generally a
smart
bad
thing
idea
to do.
No, the only good thing that came out of this pie eating contest, which I wasn't even aware was happening, is that one of the Tribbles are so fucking fat now, they roll down the corridors and they clean it at both sides at the same time.
It's the new Roomba.
So kind of like you.
Seriously.
Damn.
Well, I don't clean both sides when I go. They just roll down the corridor and he's so fat that he reaches either side of the corridor. Nobody can go down the corridor when Fat Tribble is going down the corridor.
Maybe we should have an annual pie eating contest so our ship is more clean.
That's a thought. I could look into that. Look, there's nobody you can turn, or you cannot go to the Admiral saying you want the vote contested. No, that's my decision.
He wants to go above your head.
You know,
this is why we don't let dots talk to the Admiral.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's at least better than going below his head.
Ooh.
Look, the very nature of the contest says pie eating contest, not pie smearing.
Right. You're automatically disqualified if you can't eat the pie.
So, what do you mean you're going to go to Rocky and get him to make you a mouth? It's not going to work.
I got other things to do.
Oh,
Don't give him teeth.
Oh, my God. I tell you what, I'll get number one to order you some extra 40 weight oil for everybody. How's that? What do you mean it's going to be a good time in the lower decks? Go get out of here. This show is starting. Yes, I will get him to order it. Thank you. Oh, shit. The light was on, too. God dog it. Okay. Y'all wasn't supposed to hear all of that, but hey, life on a starship. First off, if you were a kid and you were listening to the beginning of this, I'm sorry, but you really shouldn't be listening. We have a fucking warning on the beginning of the podcast anyway, on the site and everything else. They said no kids allowed. So if you're under the age of 18, just don't go away, man. Just go away, as they say. So all of you who are legal age, thank you. Welcome aboard. Welcome back. If this is your first podcast listening to us, I'm sorry. But this is what you get. Okay, we're not your grandma's podcast.
That's not the best way to start it off with the first new one. I mean, it's like, don't apologize on the first date, you know?
Oh, good point.
You need to go listen to our first podcast. If we cursed, we giggled. So that shit is gone. We're all jaded and everything now. So I am Captain Nathan Adams, and I'm here with my full crew. I swear it's the best crew in Starfleet, in my humble opinion. I have my wickedly intelligent and research expert, my science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer, and these blueberry pies are really good. I think I'm going to take a couple back to my quarters.
Save me one.
Okay.
And I have probably programmer extraordinaire, a person who, when he decides to be diplomatic type, you cannot ask for a better diplomat, but most of the time he's really sour, like somebody clipped his balls too hard when they went to give him a clean shave. And that's my first officer.
What? Anyway, I'm Patrick. I'm number 1. I'm the computer guy and the foreign species liaison, and no one's clipped my balls.
And he is not shaved.
What did the dots say? You were doing it like the Austin Powers, that it's nice and shorn and all clean and everything. So the dot just made shit up again.
Mm-hmm.
We got to fix that. I don't know where you learned to lie. However, the person that doesn't lie, and it is known worldwide for being the person they use, how do you measure up against Chief in more ways than one, is our very adaptive, fixable. It's just he runs this whole damn ship almost by himself, and that's my chief.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm engineer of the show and the ship, and I have a lot to live up to on this show. Sorry about your balls, number 1. And I also wanted to shout out again the Duras sisters. I may have promoted a show that was probably an older show because I can't figure out which show I just promoted. So I may have listened to something that was pretty old, but they're still doing shows and they're pretty good. So the Duras sisters podcast, they're not Klingons, but they are sisters, and they do love some Star Trek.
That just alone is just friggin' awesome.
And I also have to shout out the Trekperts quiz, which is a brand new podcast coming out of Australia. And they shouted us out on Instagram. I think they're looking for contestants. And if you want some hardcore
cool.
Trek trivia, they've got some fun trivia going on with that.
Cool.
Wow, I should volunteer my first officer. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I second Patrick.
Oh, yes. Patrick would be good at that. Also wanted to shout out the replicators because they all serve pumpkin spice Raktajino now.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That wasn't me.
I didn't know that they had it.
I would never do that.
I'm going to actually have them make me a computer, Raktajino pumpkin spice. Now, let me see how this tastes. Hold on. That's actually not
It
bad.
tastes like ass.
Wait,
A lot of people like the
what does
pumpkin
this say
spice.
on the side of the cup? Now made with less insect parts?
Oh my God.
That's just
supposed to
standard
be?
marketing.
Oh.
All the cups say that.
Now made with less fecal matter.
I am not a pumpkin spice person. I don't know how people eat that stuff.
Well, it comes out once a year. I'm not exactly go out crazy getting it, but I know a lot of people do.
I don't think I've ever had it.
I know that I got to the pumpkin spice Cheerios, and I think the last time I did that, I vowed never to do it again. I think I just forgot. So now I got to finish the box off before Halloween.
You can always give it to your cats.
I'll feed them to the ducks.
I had BooBerry yesterday.
How was the blueberry?
No, BooBerry.
BooBerry.
Oh, the BooBerry. Okay, got it.
Remember
Yeah,
BooBerry,
yeah.
Count Chocula, and Frankenberry? Yeah, I had
Gotcha.
BooBerry cereal yesterday.
And then my childhood was destroyed because I found out the Lucky Charms, that each one in a different color marshmallows are actually taste the same.
Can you imagine the amount of sugar in those things?
Oh my God.
Oh, there's so much sugar. My favorite is Rice Krispies with strawberries and bananas. That's what I love for cereal.
Now that sounds fucking amazing.
It's good.
Ooh, with diced up strawberries and bananas. I use diced up bananas and strawberries, and as well as walnuts in my oatmeal.
Foreplay.
Ooh. So Rocky was talking about doing the quiz. You guys want to do a quick Halloween quiz?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Let's
Awesome.
do it.
Okay, what 3 alien species are immune to the Borg assimilation?
Nathan.
My aunt Tilda.
Well, one is species 8472. We know that.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the main one.
And that was the alien monsters on Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
The
they
one who
came
lived
from
in
liquid space.
Space.
Yep.
Fluidic space.
Fluidic space.
That's
yeah.
it. Yep.
That's number 1.
The Q.
Yes. Q continuum.
They introduced us to the Borg.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. How can they take over an omnipotent being?
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Can't do anything with God. He'll just have fun with them.
That's for certain. Unless they catch them without their powers. Who the fuck could be the third one?
It's the Packlids.
Yes, you're right. It's the
It's the Packlids.
Packlids.
That's right. They're too stupid to assimilate.
Yes.
They're not worth their time.
Exactly. Not worth it. Not
Oh
worth
my
the
God.
time or energy.
There's no distinctive added to the collective with that. Did you see that? We are the Borg. We will resist you.
Anyway, I think we have a link in the show notes below of where this came from, the article that it came from, and we sort of switched number 3. So if you want to find out what the real number 3 was, check out the article.
In Voyager, it was a certain brand of alien that also had the same problem. The Borg weren't interested in them.
Was it the Kazon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The Kazon, the Borg was like, you guys are ghetto races. We don't want you.
Oh, damn.
So that was pretty bad. First off, also, why we did this, our show is being brought to you by our wonderful Patreon people. So thank you so much. And Section 30, yes, blue hair. I was going to tell it, just have patience.
Purple.
Brought to you by William Boimler.
Purple hair.
Purple hair. It looks blue in the light. I have the light turned down low.
Isn't his name Dagger? Something Dagger.
That's the fictitious version.
Yeah, it's William Boimler.
It's Poindagger, right? No, it's not Poindagger. Well, since we're making mistakes left and right, this is a good part to ask my first officer. We have any corrections from last week?
Let me check subspace. Hold on a moment, please. Nope, we're all good.
Okay. You hit that switch a little too
Patrick.
hard. I understand you get mad at the communicator because people are always looking for you, but, we're going to go on news of the week. And while I sit back and listen to my science officers start off the round, I'm going to have something with this pumpkin spice coffee. Hold on.
Aye, Captain.
Computer, cinnamon raisin donut. Hot. That's too damn hot. Room temperature.
Cinnamon raisin donut? I thought he was going to say bagel.
No, I want the donut. I want something gooey.
Okay.
Bagels are not as gooey.
Okay.
All right, hold on. And it put it in a package, too. Look at this.
News
Who had the replicator with the little package?
Number 1. So this week's news is a Halloween theme. And if you want to watch Halloween movies or shows, because I don't know if you guys love doing it. I love doing it. I really get into that. StarTrek.com has a list of the 9 underrated spooky Star Trek episodes. So here we go. Here's the list. Get your pens and papers ready, or text, because it's not, the 80s. The original series, season 1, episode 13, the Galileo 7. The Next Generation, season 4, episode 17, Night Terrors. Next Generation, season 6, episode 5, Schisms. Deep Space Nine, season 5, episode 5, The Assignment. That's the one with Kiko and O'Brien. Voyager, season 6, episode 25, The Haunting of Deck 12. Enterprise, season 2, episode 23, Regeneration. Lower Decks, I think Grudge has some input. Lower Decks, season 1, episode 7, Much Ado About Boimler. Picard season 2, episode 7, Monsters. That's the freaky one where we find out what happened to Picard's mom. And Strange New World season 1, episode 9, All Those Who Wander.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky.
I'm sitting here trying to talk and fucking Doc put me on mute.
You shouldn't talk with your mouth full, sir.
I'm going to really need it.
Smart Doc.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking. What the hell? Those are pretty good. Thank you. God dog it. Stop laughing, you ass. Okay, number 1, what do you have for news?
Well, I got 2 things. So we have a new character coming on Star Trek Prodigy. Ensign Essentia of Admiral Janeway's USS Dauntless is going to be played by nerd extraordinaire Jamila Jamil, who is also a member of the queer community. And you might know her from The Good Place, or you might know her from She-Hulk, where she played Titania. And she discussed being part of the crew and being queer. And she said she's hit her nerd EGOT right. She's got the MCU, she's got DC, she's got Star Trek, and now she can get Star Wars. That would be it. She would have her nerd EGOT. And then
is that the nerd bingo?
Doesn't she play Titania also in the She-Hulk?
He said that.
I'm going to smack you, moron.
Short-term memory loss may be a sign of your replicator needing adjustment.
She plays Titania in She-Hulk also, right?
Anyway, so some of you may or may not know, but Anthony Rapp had brought a suit against Kevin Spacey for sexual misconduct back when he was a 14-year-old. And it was a civil suit, and the jury came back, found that Kevin Spacey was not liable. But Anthony said that bringing the lawsuit was always about shining a light as part of the larger movement to stand up against all forms of sexual violence. So even though he didn't win, he's not
Bitter.
It wasn't about the money. It was about just, part of that, like the Me Too movement, just shining a light on people's bad behavior. So,
it put a massive speed bump in Kevin Spacey's career, and rightfully so.
But, it also brings awareness to, if people are doing stuff, they may be a little less likely to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It gets him to keep what little money he has because he's got no real income.
Yeah,
from stuff. He's persona non grata for everything else.
One of the biggest actors in our generation, but what's he done lately because of this, this kind of thing going on? And people are saying stuff and suddenly he stops working because of that. So
he still has 5 separate charges in the UK for a couple different men.
It's just you got to
this isn't over.
You got to keep it in your pants.
No.
And if you're going to take it out of your pants, you got to be around people that want to see it.
Hot dog filter.
Don't get your hot dog filtered.
So he's an international perv.
Yeah.
Well, there was a time I would have done Kevin Spacey for sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude was a decent star for crying out loud.
It doesn't matter how famous he is. No.
Well, it's how big it is, and that's probably what Patrick was
goodness.
interested
I heard it was big.
Oh my God.
And I heard Patrick's favorite foreplay phrase was, "Pat, you awake?"
Oh, jeez.
I am not a rapist.
I didn't say you were. I said your favorite phrase someone tells you. Hey, Patrick, are you awake? I didn't say that you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Sensitive much? Jeez.
I don't play dead either.
No, you're not a necrophilia. Every single one of your dates, I hear them screaming. So
we probably need to change the subject, sir.
Okay, so next then. Gee.
Rocky news.
Yes, to get off of that subject.
Why don't you pull a rabbit out of your hat?
Yeah, again? Bristol. Anyway, Anson mounts in something new called MK Ultra. It's a new psychological thriller, and it was written and directed by an ex-intelligence officer. And the film is based on a true story of the 1960s human experimentation program that was conducted by the CIA. Does that sound interesting?
CIA would never do human experiments. What are you talking about?
Everybody was experimental in the 60s, even the CIA.
There's a lot of stuff that they did and they still do, but they keep it really quiet. So
before there were X-Files,
the CIA just wanted to observe. They just like to watch.
Well, you're not too far from that. Russia, as well as the United States, did something with remote viewing, and they had pretty high success rates on it. But then the public found out, and they dropped it like a hot potato. Well, no, we don't do that. Kill all the records, destroy, shred everything. But then they turned around and made incorporations of these people. And
Censored by Section 31.
You can watch it on Amazon Prime, apparently.
Yeah, it's on Amazon and other digital places. You can rent and buy it.
Yeah. Amazon is doing really good.
Guess who's in it? Jason Patrick, The Lost Boys.
Oh, how cool. It's going to be nice.
And Anson Mount, who also was talking with the press and was talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, dropping hints that it's going to be a bigger, crazier Star Trek than it was the first season.
Cool.
They're taking it to 11.
Yay.
Well, that's going to be good.
Awesome.
Normally the series, the first season of the series is always the worst, but with Strange New Worlds, they were amazing. The first season just blew it out of the park, was so freaking awesome.
They had the bar pretty high right there, so it should be interesting to see Season 2.
They did.
Yeah, so for them to be like, oh yeah, we went above that.
Well, they're going to have to challenge our ratings bonanza when it comes to Lower Decks.
They're coming out and saying, they're putting out stuff this early about how good it's going to be. So expectations are getting set high pretty early in the game.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's going to be interesting because right now our favorite series is really towards the top here has been Lower Decks. So it's going to be interesting if they're going to be able to match all the 9s and 8s and 10s we've been given Lower Decks.
Yeah.
So we're going to see on that.
Lower Decks have been my favorite.
We all give high marks for Lower Decks. Decks.
Yeah, especially Rockies because his always reaches Lower Decks. So. Also, since we're staying on that vein, so to speak,
Jesus Christ.
Star Trek is going to receive an Outfest Legacy Vision Award. Our favorite thirst trap, Wilson Cruz, is going to accept the award. But for those of you who don't know, Outfest is going to honor the Star Trek franchise with the Visionary Award, and it recognizes the creative or artistic contributions to the LGBTQIA and visibility within the media. There's a whole bunch of honorees that are going to be there, as well as Janelle Monáe, thank you. It's going to be Glamazon Employee Resource Group, Outfest Deputy Director Kerry. I am not going to be able to pronounce that name because I am full of the cinnamon donut.
Stoughton
Jackson. Monáe is going to receive the Outfest Trailblazer Award, and the Glamazon's going to take the Guardian Award. And Ms. Jackson's going to be claiming the Jonathan Howard Legacy Award.
Did I tell you when I went and saw Grace Jones that Janelle Monáe got up on stage with her?
I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
It was friggin' awesome. Grace Jones has got to been dipped in Dick Clark's non-aging thing.
She's like 70-something.
She does not look her age, but she still looks like she did when she was in James Bond. You know, she looks amazing. Amazing. So Outfest is a Los Angeles-based nonprofit this year. It's celebrating its 40th anniversary. So if you want to attend, you can go ahead and look over to deadline.com, and they'll have a link for where you can buy the tickets. So, but that's our news. So now comes the favorite part, where I can sit back and finish this donut and drink this pumpkin spicy thing and listen to the recap.
Aye, Captain. So this week we watched Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 9, Trusted Sources. It first aired October 20th, 2022. Teaser: I spy with my little eye. The Cerritos has been assigned a new mission called the Swing By Project, where they check Federation planets that have long been neglected. And on top of it, they'll have a reporter with them to document the entire thing. First order of business: clean everything. It's filthy. This is not a joke. Go.
This sounds like my childhood, when anytime we would have a holiday or a birthday, it's time to clean the house because grandma's coming over with uncle and we need the house cleaned because these people have never seen our house in normal state. It's just like, yeah, hurry up and clean everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like this all the time.
You're like, isn't this clean?
This is what we live in. What are you talking about? Clean the house.
It's really funny.
I love Tiana's response where she's like, oh shit, she's serious.
Yeah, they're like, what, really? You're joking, right? It's like, get to work.
And it gets everybody on a real expectation that everyone lives in a pristine, clean house, not knowing that there's a mad hour before they get there. They be scrubbed and cleaned and set up.
Now, my impression of, and everyone says Starfleet is not necessarily military, but my impression of military is they keep it clean all the time.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. While you're in, Thursdays is known throughout the Marines as field day, where everyone gets together and scrubs and cleans whatever quarters that they have for inspection for Friday morning.
Oh, fun.
It's also pizza day and cigar day.
So if you want to attack, it's also on those days, right? That's when you attack the U.S.
Oh, Jesus.
For those of you that are in the military, I'm going to warn you of something that I did, and that hopefully you will take heed. We had a field day, and I was in charge. The first time I was in charge of the barracks being cleaned. So the whole barracks is being scrubbed, cleaned up and down. And a staff sergeant came in and he asked me, he says, are you ready for an inspection? And what possessed me to say the fuck what I said, I still don't know to this day. I looked at him and goes, yes, Staff Sergeant, I dare you to find dirt. And he raised an eyebrow and he goes, you dare me? And I says, yes, Staff Sergeant, because I was proud of what the guys did. He goes, lift up your boot. I said, huh? He goes, lift your boot up. I lift my boot up. He took his finger and ran it against the heel and the sole. It dragged it across and looked at his finger and goes, I see dirt. Looks like dirt to me. This place isn't ready. And he turned around and he left. I turned around and all 60 men looked like they wanted to kill me because we were supposed to go on liberty that night.
Oh my God.
And so I told him, well, just
see dirt people.
Give it a once over. 2 hours later, he comes back and he goes, is this place ready for inspection? And I goes, yes, Staff Sergeant. He goes, do you dare me to find dirt? No, Staff Sergeant. He goes, I didn't think so. And he looked around. He didn't even touch anything. He just glanced around the room, goes, yeah, it's clean. You guys can go. So never challenge a senior person like that. Yeah,
watch your mouth when you say stuff.
Never. That was a lesson that I've taken with me for the rest of my life. But yeah, that was an interesting thing when they all was like, really? And she's having a conniption fit. Whatever relaxation that she had is left.
Well, it's a reflection on her. It's a huge reflection on her. And she knows her ship. She knows how she runs her ship. And she's surprised at all this. Is like, oh, shit, they're sending a reporter. Oh, my God, we got to clean.
She orders everybody to go ahead and to do that. And so that's funny. And she's yelling and screaming. If it wasn't a cartoon, I swear you would see veins popping out from her head.
Oh, yes. 100%.
I like that Buen Amigo is like, ditch the Pomp. He's just let's get right to it, Stop it with all the BS.
I still love his name, Good Friend.
Yes.
Buen Amigo.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Did you guys recognize the planet that they were supposed to go to, the Onara?
Not right away, but they started to explain it. In fact, in the next section, I believe Ransom does a really lovely PowerPoint on his tablet that really brings it all back.
I love that.
That was pretty fucking cool. I did like that.
Well, they come up in season 1, episode 22 of The Next Generation, Symbiosis. So if anybody wants to see that. And this episode marks the first appearance since then that they have shown up. The Broom were seen in Deep Space Nine, the finale, What You Leave Behind. So it's been a while since we've seen these people, these planets before, or again.
17 years, according to what they were saying.
17 years, exactly. And also, too, if you look at this, they kind of did a mistake, and I'm being nitpicky because I love the show. But when the shuttle comes in, the shuttle is called Joshua Tree, but when it lands in the shuttle bay, it's called Redwood.
I noticed it was the Redwood. I didn't see that. Wow.
Nice pickup. See, that's why I love my science officer. She's got an eagle eye for stuff like that. That is so cool.
It didn't seem like they were using stock footage like they normally would in a show.
No.
They animated the wrong thing.
You're giving me the warm fuzzies.
I just imagine someone's like, hey, what's the name of the ship? It's Joshua Tree. And then maybe like a week later, oh, what's the name of the ship?
I think it's Redwood.
Just say it's Redwood. Yeah, it's fine. Just Redwood.
And then they cut it together and go, no one's going to notice this. But
but my science officer jumps up and down and points it, mistake. And then walks in a circle around her room with a bell. Shame.
I love that bell. That is my favorite bell. I go behind Patrick and walk behind Patrick doing shame.
So that depends upon if it scans too low.
Oh, no, I just do it for the fun of it.
That explains it. All right, now let's go to the next section because I got something to mention from, of course, history.
Hi, Captain. Act 1. Well, this didn't go as expected. The reporter arrives and Freeman does everything possible to put a good foot forward. She changed shifts so only the impressive crew members will be seen by the reporter. She cancels the blueberry pie eating contest and throws those messy pies away to Rutherford's horror. And the reporter can only interview approved crew members, not including Mariner. Mariner rebels and makes it her mission to talk to the reporter, which she succeeds at, but not without Ransom seeing and assuming the worst. The planet the Cerritos is visiting is called Onara, and we get a quick history lesson on what happened in the Next Generation episode, where Picard cuts ties between the two planets. One planet was addicted to drugs, while the other planet was the drug dealer. Picard threw the drug dealer's phone away and left, leaving the other planet to detox. 17 years later, we learn that 14 of those years were spent in hell and chaos. But the past 3 years have been amazing because now they are addicted to health and fitness. With nothing to fix, the Cerritos leaves the Onara and goes to their neighbor, Brecca, to see if they need anything.
He may have took his phone, but he left his beeper.
Oh.
Now, the one thing I thought was kind of funny, because when they talked about how they're all doing fitness and they're addicted to fitness, there's a base called Diego Garcia I'm not sure if I'm authorized to tell you what's on that base, but it's a little island.
Your mom.
And on that, she didn't get stationed there. And on that island, there's literally nothing you can do. So when you're stationed there for a while, you become one of three things.
Oh, boy.
You become either an alcoholic, a religious nut, or a fitness nut. And so when they had all the guys running fitness, and it's like, man, they got no other source of entertainment. And they're running everywhere. I just thought that was funny.
They're not allowed to bring books?
No, you can read, but most people don't spend their time reading. It's always one of those three things.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they drink while they're reading.
Hey, there you go.
Thankfully, I was never stationed there. But yeah. So if somebody ever says they were stationed at Diego Garcia, you just give them a hug.
Okay.
Yeah, stationed at, not in.
Yeah, so if you give them a hug and they have
being
like a really
stationed in
muscly
Diego
back.
Garcia is a whole lot different than being stationed at Diego Garcia.
Well, they're stationed at Diego Garcia. So if you give them a hug and you feel like a lot of muscle, you know they're a fitness nut. Aww. And if you give them a hug and they say, God bless
smell
you,
like
you
alcohol?
know they're religious. Then you know they smell like alcohol. You know, they're the other
Then you invite
ones.
them to the parties.
Oh, my God.
So they might have a lot more stuff for them to do now because that was some years ago.
Well, there is this thing called the internet.
Well, bring them some arcade games. Jesus. I mean, video games. Hello.
Well, see, that's where they played because back then the arcade games were only in the
You had to get them
enlisted club.
You got to get them to the island, right? So
yeah, but they were only in
hard.
the enlisted club, so they were in the bar.
Oh, so that was the alcoholics.
Yeah, there was no portable games back then. Yes, I'm old as shit, but there was no real portable games and stuff back then.
Back in the old days.
Not even a Game Boy? Wow.
No video games, no internet.
No, during my days when I used to drink a lot.
Back when we still had square reels.
I used to just go to the bar and I would order a pitcher. And the woman would ask me how many glasses. And I says, I don't need glasses. And I'd get quarters and I would drink from the pitcher and play the arcade games.
You know, someone's going to go there one day and teach them all Foursquare.
Oh, my God.
Teach them all foreskin. What?
Foursquare. You know Foursquare?
Is it the game where you hop?
No, you do 4 squares. So it's like a box with 4 squares and one person is in each square and you have a ball. And you have to try to have the ball bounce into the square and then bounce out of the square without the other player hitting it or missing it or whatever to get them out of the game.
It's like a polite version of kickball or dodgeball.
It's not dodgeball. You have to hit the square and then the other person has to hit the ball into the other person's square and you keep hitting them into other squares. And what makes it fun is you have different ways of doing it. So you have the hard ball, wham, and you whack it into the corner of the square really hard. And then you have the soft little fluff and you go to this like little edge right at the very, end and you like fluff it onto there and then it bounces out really fast before they go. So there's like different types that you do. The round the world. Okay.
This is before they played volleyball.
Obviously, I'm an 80s kid.
Somebody dot poke
He's
the
old.
first officer on the side.
Patrick is old. Of
naps.
course he's going to be taking a
He
nap.
takes his naps. He falls asleep.
So
and
going
last
back
time
to
he was walking the corridor, talking, I'm so chilly. Where's my blanket?
going back to Star Trek, Freeman thinks that it is inevitable that the people will have fallen for Landru again. This is a reference to the original series, season 1, episode 22, the return of the Archons. I don't know. Patrick knows, I'm sure. And Freeman and Cerritos have to return the Beta 3. And then, they came back and they found it, and Landry's there again. And, he's in control again. And that's no small parts. Laundry? How about I just say laundry?
Stop praying to the laundry.
Yeah, it won't fold itself.
You thought Beta 3 was fucked up, and then they started leaving in laundry as opposed to Landru.
Oh, it's Landru.
Sorry.
I like laundry. I like laundry
that's
better.
A different show.
Yeah, totally different show.
I like that they ordered to make sure that the government's not being run by kids or by somebody pretending to be the devil. That was a great callback.
That was funny. Yeah, that was.
Do you know what episodes I was calling back to?
Well, the one with kids, isn't that going towards
Children of the Village of the Damned?
No, the one runs by kids. Well, not exactly run by kids. Isn't that the one where Anson found that they had to sacrifice that little boy to power their city?
Oh, well, interesting.
Are you talking about the original series when they're all in those striped outfits?
Yeah.
And they're all.
Yep, it was the original series, season 1, episode 11, Miri.
Oh, that's right, when they had that fameless lawyer play the angel.
Yeah, and it was a planet ruled by children. And then the devil one was Next Generation, season 4, episode 13, Devil's Due.
I like these little callbacks, and I love the fact that you catch them. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
And then you have Mariner actually is concerned because she wants her mom to look in the best light. And I thought that was kind of neat. But she turns around and puts him on a different shift, and her eyeballs start switching. It's like, aren't you supposed to go to sleep now?
And then they shut the lights off on you.
That's so fucked up.
That brought me right back to after cleaning the house for holiday reasons. It's like, you staying up too late. Go to bed. And they shut the light off.
Did you ever have a grandma that had plastic on her sofa?
I remember plastic on somebody's sofa. Yeah.
Plastic on sofa and chairs. You know what that was for, right?
So they don't
To
get dirty.
keep it clean?
No, it means your grandma was a squirter.
Oh, my. I don't want to think about that.
No, guess how many people just turned off our podcast at that point?
Oh, I'm sure they turned it off way before that.
Oh, my God. And the sick ones that are still tuned in, they're turned on.
We're talking about you, Lana.
Oh my God. I love the part when Rutherford tore off his shirt because either he wanted the pie or he was going to be stunned, and so he just tore off the shirt.
He went all
That was
out.
funny. Stun me.
That was hilarious.
Well, it was kind of disturbing because he was busy expanding his GI tract and Tandy was busy dislocating her jaw because everybody's getting ready for the pie eating contest.
Oh my God.
It's the biggest night of the year, not including Ponfars.
I mean, Tandy would be good. If she can dislocate her jaw, she'd be good at an orgy.
Right?
Oh my God.
That's something that we didn't want to know about the Orion Pirate Girl.
Right?
But that was a fun thing to see him go through pie withdrawals. He still have it. Looking forward to it. I just thought that was kind of nice.
He looked good for eating so much pie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he was on a starvation diet.
Oh, okay.
So, of course,
And
everything is
short-term binge eating is not going to really put any weight on you. So
Yeah.
It'll
Okay.
go right through you, especially if it's
Ew.
pie.
Ew.
But it was very funny,
If you really, really, really like the pie, don't eat it in one sitting.
Unless you're preparing for a pie eating contest.
Then you need to slowly stretch your stomach out like the Black Widow in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. So it's really funny. I like the fact that Freeman turns around and she's like, "Is anything we can do?" Anything, because she wants to look good. And the guy just says, "No, we're going to do a 10K. Fuck that. 10K?
They're addicted to working out.
What the hell? In my entire life, when I used to run, even when I was active duty, I only got the runner's high twice in my life. So I can't even imagine that they're probably chasing that high in order to get that feeling. Do you guys know what a runner's high is?
No, I've never had
it's
it.
smelling your gym socks after.
No.
Ew.
Running high is that you get a point when you're running and then your body acts like it tells you it wants to stop, but you keep pushing through. Then all of a sudden, there's no pain. There's no nothing. You're just riding on a wave of adrenaline and good feelings, and it feels like you can run forever.
Endorphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, never felt that.
Yeah.
I always feel the, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
That's why I ride a bicycle instead of running.
Which is really cool. I like seeing you on your bike.
Until you try to go up a mountain, then that sucks.
Okay, let's go ahead to the next part.
Hi, Captain. Before we go on to Act 2, I was just gonna say that I can't believe those people
It's
got
not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe those people got everything fixed where they had zero problems and they got it all done in 3 years. Like,
well, after
they
14
fixed all
years
of their problems.
I guess
They were motivated.
They were really, I mean, if you watch the original episode, you realize how messed up these people are going to be. And for it to take 14 years to get clean was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if they were not working a program because they would have been doing a lot better a lot sooner. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Act 2. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Captain Freeman has a meeting with a reporter and learns that her opinion is not a good one. Blaming Mariner for the bad press, she bans her to Starbase 80, the dumpster fire of Starfleet.
Damn, Starbase 80?
Damn! Shunned by the crew, including her girlfriend Jennifer, Mariner packs her belongings and says her goodbyes to Boim Boim, Tendi, and Rutherford.
I mean, that's just like,
That was a kind of a hurtful thing because her mother just went, I don't have a daughter anymore. And she wouldn't even let Mariner explain anything. And then literally everybody turned their backs on her.
It's the classic, crying wolf. It's so many times Mariner's fucked up. It's just so many times. There's a huge history of it. She's lost all credit with her mother. It's kind of depressing that at this point, Mariner was actually doing the right thing, being the good person.
Well, we don't know that yet.
And that's a spoiler, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter because it's like, that. I've had enough of you. You're done. Go away. I'm sending you to Starbase 80.
And it's just like, what the fuck?
Damn, Starbase 80.
yeah, Starbase 80.
So it's really kind of sad in a way because you see she's so determined to try to explain herself. And even her girlfriend was like, I don't even want to listen to you. Here's your candle back.
So bad.
And it's like, wow.
She'll no longer be her candle on the water.
Yeah, it was kind of to see how everybody kind of turned their backs on her was really kind of hurtful. The only ones I think that didn't really turn their backs was her solid people, was her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boim Boim and Tendi and Ruthy.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to say goodbye. It's like, no, this will overblow. This will do it. And she doesn't want to do that.
Boimer's like, just go apologize anyway. It doesn't matter. You should just apologize.
Just do a fake apology. It's fine.
It's really kind of fucked up. And then you get there and you look like, we'll talk about a ghetto shuttle. That thing was filthy. And
felt so bad for her.
You know what it made me feel like? It made me feel like getting my car washed because I haven't washed my car in a while.
Well, they had a sandwich wrapped up in her uniform.
That's where my sandwich was.
I told you I didn't lose it. It's like,
did you notice that he didn't call it a sandwich? He called it a Sammich.
A Sammich.
A Sammich.
Sammich.
Oh, my Sammich. There it is.
It is like, wow, no wonder nobody could just start Starbase 80. If that's an indication of what the Starbase looks like.
Damn, Starbase 80?
Really?
That's like the projects in New York in the 80s.
Oh my God. You didn't want to go in that elevator, smells like urine, and it was bad.
And that's on a good day.
Yeah. It was bad. It looked like a scene from, you get Freddy Krueger is going to be down every hallway with the lights blinking and the half dark corridors. It was not a fun place to live. I know I had a girlfriend that lived in one of those, and it was always an adventure and observation skills to make it to her apartment without being jumped. So it was definitely interesting. And then, I guess she turns around and she doesn't even feel bad. She doesn't even look at her daughter being gone, whereas her friends are watching. So I really felt bad for Mariner. I just wanted to give her a hug and say, come on to USS Butler. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, we'll have you on. You sound like, you're one of us.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. Oh my God, you and Heather would tear this place apart. Hopefully you can cook Mariner. Fun. Yeah, hopefully you can cook Mariner. I don't need two of you burning up the kitchen. Okay. I guess we could get ready to move to the next section unless anybody has any juicy tidbits for this one.
Nope. I Captain, Act 3, Freeman's Friday the 13th. The Cerritos flies to Brecca to see how they're doing, and the bridge crew beams down to find an abandoned town straight out of your favorite zombie show. There's an ambush and they have to retreat, beaming back to the Cerritos. The chase is on, and as the Cerritos tries to get away, they are saved at the last moment. But they're surprised to find that the Starfleet ship has no crew. Apparently, Starfleet knew something might happen and wanted to test out their top secret prototype, proving it could handle any job. This new Texas-class ship is now ready to be declassified and presented to the universe. Freeman is flabbergasted. To top it off, the reporter runs an investigative story exposing the Cerritos' chaotic dysfunction. Most of the crew unintentionally spilled the beans, while Mariner was the only one that had good things to say. Shamed, Captain Freeman calls Starbase 80 to get her daughter back, but is surprised to learn that Mariner has quit Starfleet. Captain Freeman has no idea where Mariner is or what she's doing. But we know. Meanwhile, in another part of space, Mariner has teamed up with the archaeologist thief from the job fair a couple of episodes ago, as they search for some tombstones to rob.
This whole part, I had a feeling that number that she saved was going to come back, and we do see it. The part is when Dr. what's his name? The bird dude.
Miglimo.
The Miglimo?
Yeah, when he's talking about, he's talking to Nima.
That was hilarious.
The first time I got my entire warp drive to myself, I called up my mom and said, check out the warp core. This is awesome. But when you're on the bridge with the entire crew sitting there looking at you, and the first thing you do is call mom.
He FaceTimed his mother.
So lame.
It's just a certain level of Starfleet going on right there.
It's like, Mom, look, I'm in the captain's chair.
I'm in the big chair, and then he has to play it off when Freeman comes back. It's like, I told you never to call me at work.
I mean, that was definitely a lower deck
Yeah,
movie.
totally.
That was pretty funny.
What I was surprised was this planet's all abandoned looking and deserted, and then the first normal person that Ransom runs into gets fucking phasered in front of him, just disintegrated right there. The fucking Breen are there. I haven't seen the Breen in so long, and they're really, really taking over this planet.
Yeah.
It was really kind of strange because it tells you sometimes when you're in hiding, just stay in fucking hiding. As soon as she pops her head out to save his life, look out, just be, and she's gone.
Yeah.
Well, her six was exposed.
Yeah.
I mean, did you notice that? She's hiding behind the dumpster, but not looking behind her because that's where the Breen are coming from.
At least her 9 wasn't exposed.
Oh my God. Her 9 was covered by the wall.
Her 69.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Too bad we didn't get to see the 69.
So during Mariner's confusion by the crew's reaction, she asked whether she's in a frame of mind situation. And she was referring to the Next Generation frame of mind where Riker was physically tortured in an undercover mission on, I think it was Tilonus or something.
That was a
Tilonus
crazy
4.
episode. If you're going to watch some
it
spooky, crazy Halloweenish episodes, I would recommend that one. Because that was pretty crazy. She also mentioned the neural drain. Do you remember the neural drain?
Yeah.
I get that every time we come on this show.
That's the one where they were getting experimented on, right?
That really was. And they've, like Star Trek has always had some weird episodes that make you think and wonder that the person they're focusing on, is it their imagination or is this shit really happening? Even including with the peptide cake of
the peptide cake, yes.
Yeah. So it was definitely interesting.
Messing with your mind.
What's happening here?
And then you've got the hit piece by FNN News, Starfleet Shame.
And to find out that the person that she blamed, and I imagine the rest of the crew is going to have to feel out about that.
Everybody blamed Mariner, yet everybody was the one except Mariner that was talking all the shit.
Yeah.
And they weren't even talking shit. They were just relating, anecdotes, but they just put everything in a bad light.
The thing that annoys me about this is that's a thing nowadays, is it's always the media out to tell a hit piece, to tell a story, and not all media. I just want to hashtag not all media, but fucking FNN News has got a really bad track record on Star Trek.
and then she was basically, people got too comfortable talking to her and not self-censoring.
You know what FNN stands for, right?
What?
Fucking not nice.
Yeah.
Oh. And the way that she cut the interviews up and everything, like she sliced the interviews and cut them up so it appeared worse than it was.
Yeah, it was all chopped together. It was all snippets.
Editing.
It was all the bad parts,
And then what really made Freeman feel like shit is when he said, in fact, the only person had anything nice, she throws him off the ship. Her own daughter. What type of monster is this captain? It's like, wow.
Is she an evil taskmaster?
It turns Freeman into like the evil monster that she's worried
afraid
about
to be seen as to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, that's just what you get for making everybody clean the entire ship at once.
Now, how is this going to change their relationship?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is Mariner even going to want to come back? Because she's having fun looking for mummies now.
Well, when is she going to contact her mom?
Yeah, she's off with Indiana Joanna.
Joanna.
She has mummy issues now. Not mommy issues, mummy issues.
Mummy issues.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I think the only people going to really be able to have an influence to make her come back is going to be her besties.
Well, yeah.
Because she's tired.
yeah.
And what's going to happen with Jen? Jen's going to have to eat all kinds of crow.
That's not all she's going to eat.
Because she didn't stand by her. She didn't stand.
Because they threw away all the pie. They threw away the pie. She can't eat the blueberry pie.
You know, because she really is like, she didn't, just like that song by Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man, or in the case, her woman. She didn't do it.
No,
she didn't even take time to listen to her side.
Not at all.
You know,
it's pretty harsh.
It's like Patrick and I have been friends for a while. So Patrick told me, he says, you know, Nathan, I just slaughtered an entire school bus full of children.
What? When did you do that, Patrick?
My response to him would be, what did they do to piss you off? You know, it's just, you get their side of the story. You just, you're a horrible human being. How can you slaughter kids? My thing's like, what did they do to have it coming?
You just lead them a little. Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah, that was what you call. How can you shoot women and children? Easy. You just don't lead them as much. But yeah, that was, yeah. To see that end was wild.
Well, yeah, it was pretty crazy. I also want to talk about how awesome this Texas class ship appears to be, but I'm wondering about that because it's a kick-ass automated drone ship. But what's the drawbacks? Because it seemed to be pretty fucking perfect right there and coming into the last second and saving the day.
What's going to happen when it decides that Starfleet is the problem?
Well, what's going to happen if it meets Peanut Hamper?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
Ooh.
Peanut Hamper escapes.
There's a reason Peanut Hamper's sitting on a shelf next to Agnes. Yeah.
Oh, so Peanut Hamper's going to escape.
Imagine those two get away.
Yeah, and then like steal the Texas class ship.
And then because he has access to the communications network, get all of those automated ships together.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary idea. The other thing that was neat about this episode or this section was that the phone called Starbase 80.
Oh, that shit was funny.
Those guys, he answered the phone. Hey, yo.
That was funny.
And they had a Perennian bat flying around.
That was so
Remember the bat from Enterprise?
Dr. Flox's bat.
Yeah. When they were chasing around for the bat in the middle of the night. They're trying to catch the dang thing. Like, hit it with the broom. And they're like, I did that. It didn't care.
And the part that actually had me laugh out loud, he goes, Mariner, and he pulls out a fucking Rolodex.
A Rolodex. Oh, my God.
yeah.
They have a fucking Rolodex on Starbase 80.
Damn, Starbase 80?
Yeah, they are.
He's looking through the Rolodex for, and I guarantee a good portion of the viewers that weren't around during that time have no idea what a Rolodex is.
You're like, what the fuck is that? You know what? As a kid growing up, you get brought into work by your parents and you're checking out their desks and stuff and like, whoa, this Rolodex looking thing looks so fucking cool. What the hell is it? You don't realize it's just a tool to keep track of everyone.
Or that fancy metal notepad thing that had the alphabet on the side, and you'd slide it down to M, and you open it up, and it would open all the M's. Yeah, that was high tech back then.
That was very, very fancy. That, and then of course, you know, the electric typewriters were fucking cool because you turn that sucker on, it starts humming, and like, holy shit! You put some paper in it, then you hit the key, and it goes. Wah!
I was high tech.
My dad kept his Palm Pilot until he died.
Yeah, I still have mine. It just I can't find a charger for it. But yeah, those things were awesome. And I had what I considered I was high tech. You couldn't tell me that I was an Enterprise material. I had a Smith Corona with correction tape cartridge built in.
Ooh. We had whiteout, so that's pretty hot.
You know, and it had a limited scratch pad. You would keep the last two sentences you type. So if you hit the little button, it would retype it for you.
Now, there was a point where my mother got the one that you could delete the last letter, and that was so fucking cool. It's like,
I tell you, and look at where we are now.
Yeah. I got an iPad that has autocorrect, and you know, that's
too
wonderful.
much autocorrect. Every time I try to say something, it always tells ducking. I didn't mean ducking.
Nobody ducking nothing.
You know,
it's not duck.
It's never duck.
Heather, thank you for the awesome recap.
Yeah, you're welcome. No
you always
problem.
do a great job. And thank you, Chief, for kidnapping Rutherford and having him yell out every time we mention Starbase 80.
No, I don't think that was someone else, I think. That was someone else in the background. Yeah, that wasn't Rutherford.
Oh.
Yeah, but
who'd you kidnap?
Just some guy that's always saying,
Damn, Starbase 80?
Did you see? We're going to have to, you know what? We're going to have to feed him. Maybe make him a part of the crew.
Have Heather make him some pie.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, there you go.
No,
And number one.
That's mean.
That's the kind of thing they do on Starbase 80.
Damn, Starbase 80?
And number one, I know I give you problems, but please be safe when you go to Earth. I'm worried about you going back to the 20th century there.
I'll be fine.
Just send us up space to let us know that you've made it and you were safe on the way back.
Yep.
Don't just say yep. Just make sure it happens.
Sure.
Sure, I'll send a dot to go with you.
There you go.
We can't disguise him, though.
Sure. Okay.
We could give him a triple.
Oh, the triple will just, I'll give you the fat triple. Maybe he'll lose weight.
needs a workout.
You'll have to put it on your head as a disguise so it looks like you have a big afro.
Okay.
Would that work?
Sure.
All right, that'll work. Okay.
And that's going to be an image on our Patreon.
This is a wild show.
Triple-headed number one.
And Heather, since
Yes.
you did the recap, what do you give this on a 1 to 10?
I give this episode an 8. That's pretty much like Lower Decks' minimum. It's like their lowest bar seems to be as an 8. It's like I either do an 8, 9, or 10.
I have to concur. How about you, number one?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8. It was fun.
Yeah, I will say it was actually fun. And how about you, Chief?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing, number 8. And it's only because it's the first part of a two-parter. It's always one of these episodes that has all kinds of things going on. And it takes time to set everything up. And we set everything up. And tune in next week because that's when the actual shit's going to go down.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you guys all gave it an 8, but you know me. I'm giving it an 8 too. So I'm giving it also an 8.
Such a shock.
Is this the first time?
Yeah,
I think this is the first time
that
we
we're
all
all
gave
the
it the same number.
Yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't really count, though, because it's a two-parter, and the second half's going to hit, and it's going to bring it right up to 10 again.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, and I just found out something.
What?
What?
It's Heather's favorite captain's birthday.
Oh, that's right. It
It's
is.
Scott Bakula's birthday today.
Oh, he is not my favorite. I'm trying to think like, I was like, it's Sonequa's birthday?
He's not your favorite. Hold on.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bakula.
Computer, rescind Scott Bakula's invite to the ship. Yes.
Yeah, please.
Tell him something came up. We'll reset for another time. What do you mean he's right now in litigation because of quantum leap? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
I thought you were going to say he's already on the ship. I was like, no.
No, he's not
Don't
on the
say that.
He's not on the ship
Oh,
yet.
okay.
He was going to be on the ship, but I just had the thing returned. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to be cutting it a little short because number one's got to go ahead and meet a shuttle and do a slingshot back to Earth. But we had fun. Lower Decks so far seems to be our favorite series going forward until we see what the next season of Strange New Worlds is going to be. Remember, we have stuff that you can buy straight from our gift shop on the ship. So make sure that you go ahead and look at our links, and we have our store where you can buy everything from mugs to t-shirts to you name it. And just a purchase of one item will help finance the show for one show, which is good. So if you buy a bunch of them, keep financing us. And if you're not a member of our Patreon, we got little goodies and stuff in there. And plus, I have it on good authority. If you wind up getting on our Patreon and buying even the lowest tier, you would be blessed by the angel of good feeling that entire month, knowing that you helped us offset doing the Tribbles neutering and feeding the Tribble. Because as you see, Fat Tribble just ate almost a whole replicator store. So I'm serving beans tonight because we got to replenish the replicator.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot, the better you feel. So eat your beans with every meal.
Farting Tribbles for the next week.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Oh, God.
There's going to be, oh my God, they're jet propelled. They're rolling like exploding tumbleweeds down the corridor.
They're farting while they're rolling. They're like,
That's
roll, fart.
It's hysterical because every time they fart, they get like a little hop in the air.
Little hop.
So it's quite funny. So thanks everyone for joining us. And we've heard that on Earth right now that what is it called? Bovet, Soviet?
COVID.
That's it. that COVID is trying to make a comeback. So make sure you guys are all careful. Mask up when you can. Just don't walk around.
Coming on whose back?
And it's going to be, well,
Wait,
you're going to
coming?
Earth, so there's going to be all over your back.
Ooh.
And so I got to send out more pictures for Heather. So
Better to take it on the back than in the face.
oh, that's
I don't
true.
need
Like,
those type of pictures.
I'd rather have a frontal lobotomy than I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. So there's that. Well, that's a Frank Zappa phrase. So you're doing it to Frank Zappa. So there. So everyone, make sure you just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.
Patrick, your shuttle just docked.
Cool.
There's a guy that's saying wearing a tie-dye t-shirt and Merit sunglasses. Space is dark. Why the fuck is he wearing Merit sunglasses?
Don't forget your tribble.